Hey guys, so this is gonna be a get ready with me, as I'm sure you saw in the title, but this is gonna be like a chatty, kind of like a talkative get ready with me. I have not done one of these in a really long time. I usually just try and do the voiceover. It's just simpler to do a voiceover because it's summertime. My kids are out of school. They're always arguing with each other. The dogs are going crazy and it's just way too much noise. But I figured I'd do something a little different and just kind of talk to you guys about makeup, about life, about whatever is going on. So yeah, let's do it. So as you can see, I already did this eye. I actually was in the middle of doing this look when I was like, you know what? I might as well just stop, turn the camera on, and let's just talk and do makeup. So I'm actually using the ColourPop Yes Please palette. This is how it looks. You guys know this was one of their limited edition releases. They have restocked it. I heard they were going to restock it again, so I'm not really sure. But a lot of you guys on Snapchat have been asking me to kind of play around with this, do a look, and let you know what I think. So this is my first time using it, so this really is a first impression. So I've already primed my eye and everything. I'm gonna start off with this orangey shade right here, and I'm just gonna take my MAC 224 blending brush. You guys know that this palette was supposed to be like a dupe for the Natasha Denona palette. It was $16, which I think is a really good price because you're getting quite a few eyeshadows. I'm taking that orange shade and I'm just going to blend this above my crease because it's going to act as my transition shade. But $16, of course, that is not a bad price for the amount of eyeshadows that you're getting. The palette is kind of small and the eyeshadows are not the same size as their regular individual eyeshadows, but again, $16, I feel like you really can't complain with that. Going back into the palette, I'm gonna go with this shade right here, and I'm gonna take my MAC 217 brush to apply that. Now I do wish that this palette had a mirror, but I mean, for $16, it's not something that I'm going to like really complain about, but I do kind of wish that it had a mirror. I really think that these eyeshadows blend out pretty well. Again, I've already used them on this eye. I didn't have any problem with them blending. I feel like there's some really nice pigmentation to them. So overall, thus far, like first impression, I really am happy with how these eyeshadows are performing, and I do really like the colors in this palette. I think it's a really nice pickup, and I really hope that they bring it back because I know a lot of people weren't able to get their hands on it like the first release. I think this thing sold out in like 4 minutes, seriously. And then I heard even with the second release, a lot of people still weren't able to get their hands on it. So I'm hoping that they bring it back, and if they do, I might actually pick up a backup because for $16, you really can't beat that. So going back into the palette, I'm now going to go into this shade right here. You know what? I didn't even realize that they have names on the back. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so this shade is called Butter Cake. Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go in with Butter Cake, and maybe when I'm editing, I'll put the names of the other eyeshadows that I used so far, so that way if you have the palette and you want to follow along. The brush I'm using is my Delium 776 brush. You know what? I don't hear a lot of people talking about Delium Tools brushes, but to me, they are really good. The prices are comparable to the Morphe brush prices. Like, they're not as expensive as a lot of higher end brushes. They are super affordable and they work really good. Like, to me, this brush is a dupe for the MAC 217 brush, which I love and I know a lot of people love, but this one does the same thing, but it's just cheaper. But what I'm doing with that shade is just applying it in the outer V area, and then I'm also blending it up into the crease, but I'm not taking it all the way in. Like, I'm stopping it about right here, like mid-eye, and it's just gonna add some more warmth to this look. I didn't know what I was going for when I started this. I just knew that I wanted to use that yellow eyeshadow. I am really liking this palette. Who needs Natasha Denona for $160? something odd dollars when you could just do ColourPop for $16. Sign me up, ColourPop. So going back into the palette, I'm going to take this brown shade right here. That is actually the deepest color in the palette. There's no black or anything, as you can see. This color is called Mischief. My palette is starting to get really dirty. That's one thing I don't like about white palettes. They're going to get dirty. I mean, but that of course means you're using it, but something about like dirty palettes kind of irritates me. So I feel like we should talk about the whole Rob and China thing. And I know y'all out there like, ugh, no, Tiff, let's not talk about it. And I feel you, because I felt the exact same way. Like the first day it happened, I was just like really over it. I was like, y'all better not snap me. Do not snap me about this mess. But you know what? I really had a chance to like think about it. You know, she was recently on Good Morning America. And I've been hearing on Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube even, a lot of people have been talking like so reckless about China. And it really irritated me. One, she is what she is. You know what I mean? Like everybody has a past. They always want to say, oh, well, she was a stripper. Oh, she already had a baby by Tiger. Oh, she just used Rob. Even if that's true, even if that's true, I feel like why are so many people ready to like down her for what she did, calling her trash, calling her a whore, calling her the B word, and you know, like people have been saying like some real nasty things. But these same people that feel this way about China, and I'm basically just like building up that color. It's not a black, although it's a really dark brown. I just, you know, still want my outer crease area, my outer V area to be pretty smoky. So I'm just building that up. But as I was saying, why are these same people who are so ready to like badmouth her praising the Kardashians, Kim Kardashian preferably? Like, do we not forget the way that Kim Kardashian got known? You know what I mean? Like the Kardashian children weren't known. Their father was known mainly for the O.J. Simpson case, but the Kardashians as a whole, like they weren't really known. They weren't really popping out here in these streets. And the way that Kim Kardashian got famous, if we're being honest, is because she made a sex tape with Ray J. A sex tape that allegedly her mom leaked. I don't know. But that's how she got her name out here. And then from then, you know, granted she's married with kids now and maybe she's living her happily ever after. But let's be real. She bed hopped, she man hopped, she athlete hopped from, you know, person to person. Like, how is that any different than what China's doing for people to talk so reckless about her? That's my question. Like, let's talk about that. So going back into the palette, I'm now going to take the yellow shade. I applied some concealer on my lid off camera because I really have to be like up on the mirror as I'm doing it. Y'all know I got these little eyelids, so I really have to be all up on stuff if I'm doing any type of detail work. So I just put some concealer mainly to make sure to let this yellow eyeshadow really stand out. But I'm now going to take this Peach and Pearl eyeshadow brush. Their brushes don't have a number, but I really love them. I've talked about the Peach and Pearl brushes before, so I'm just going to kind of pack that eyeshadow on to the brush. This is just like a flat pointed brush, and then I'm just going to pack that color on to the lid. This yellow is actually pretty pigmented. I wasn't thinking that it was going to be as pigmented as it is, but it's actually pretty pigmented. I am going to go ahead on top of it with another pigment color just to really make it pop. But as you can see on its own, it's actually a really pigmented yellow. But that of course is again with the concealer underneath it. Would it be as pigmented on its own. On my skin tone, I don't think so. I definitely feel like it's one of those eyeshadows that's going to need a little help. But then again, it's a yellow. You know what I mean? You don't find too many like super pigmented yellows on their own. All right, so the eyes are done. I did apply my lashes off camera and finish up that one eyebrow. You guys know anything I don't really mention in the video will be listed down below in the description box, because I always tell you guys what I'm wearing on my face no matter what the video is. But I wanted to show you guys this Eclat pigment that I use. I told you I went on top of that yellow eyeshadow just to give it a little bit more pop to it. Again, I do think it's pigmented on its own, but I wanted it to be just a little bit bolder since the yellow is definitely the standout of this look. So this is the Eclat number 29 pigment. I'll just open it and try not to make a mess. Show you guys how it looks on the inside. It has a little bit of shimmer to it, so it's not as matte as the yellow. And again, I think it just helps the eyes stand out, like that yellow really pops. So next up, I'm going to take this new Makeup Forever Ultra HD Skin Booster. It comes with like this little dropper top. You just click the top up here. I'm gonna take a little bit of that, put it on the back of my hand. Not much, you really don't need much of this. And I'm just going to apply that onto my face. And I feel like it just kind of gives my skin like a healthier type of look. And I really like it. So for primer, I'm going to go in with the YSL Touche Eclat Blur Primer. This is what it looks like, y'all. I have been loving this stuff. My skin loves this primer. I thought this was going to be super gimmicky with the gold flecks. Like, y'all trying to get me with the gold. Like, y'all know I love to glow. So I was like, y'all just really trying to gas me up with this gold like I'm fancy. But I love the way my foundation applies with this. It's not like the most blurring primer in the world. It does blur out your pores, but if you've got like really bad pores, you're probably gonna need something in conjunction with this to focus on, you know, like blurring out the actual pores. But I think it does a really good job, and I just love how my foundation applies over this effortlessly. Like, my foundation just looks so airbrushed whenever I use this primer, so I've really been loving it. So this is the primer that I'm going to use today. So I'm going to go ahead now and apply my foundation. The foundation I'm using is the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation, the liquid. But I am really curious to know, how do you guys feel about the direction of YouTube now as opposed to the older YouTube? And everyone might not get this. Like, if you've just kind of been watching YouTube recently, you may not really know what I'm talking about. So maybe I'll try to explain it a little better. But like, although I have not been doing YouTube videos for a super long time, y'all hear me say all the time, I watch YouTube videos. I was watching YouTube before I even thought about doing any kind of videos. And I definitely feel like the direction of YouTube now is so much different than what YouTube used to be. And I don't want to say it's a bad thing, because I mean, obviously I have a YouTube platform, but I feel like a lot of the things that are big on YouTube I can't get into. Like, for instance, everything is like story time, you know what I mean? And honestly, majority of the story times to me seem like they're kind of made up. Not like, hey, this is just, you know, a fun approach of telling you about some stuff that I went through in life. Like, I feel like people just seriously be sitting there and making up stuff just for the sake of views. I also feel like a lot of stuff is like clickbait type of videos. Like, it says one thing in the title and then you click on it and it's nothing of what you thought it was gonna be. And that pisses me off to the highest point of pissivity, you know what I mean? And again, I'm telling you guys these things as someone who watches YouTube and also does YouTube. Like, that really irritates me. I also feel like things are going in more of a direction of whatever is in the moment, so that YouTube sometimes seems repetitive because everybody is doing the same exact thing just because that's what's hot right now. And sometimes doing what's hot is not always genuine. Like, you just so quick trying to get the video out, you trying to rush it because you want to be, you know, the first person to get it out or among the top to get it out, that you really don't put too much thought into it. It doesn't come off like genuine. It just comes off as something you trying to hurry up and get out for, you know, views sake. And I don't know, I just feel like YouTube is, it's not as fun as it used to be. Definitely for me, not in the sense of, hey, I want to stop doing it, because I enjoy doing it, but it's just not the same as it was. You don't get that same sense of like camaraderie. You don't get that same like, hey, let's get together and bring this to the people type of feeling. It's just different. But I don't know, y'all let me know if you get what I'm trying to say, if you guys see it yourself, or y'all just think I'm crazy. But I apologize, I'm actually losing daylight, so hopefully you guys can still see. I'm gonna try to stop talking as much and go a little faster. And again, anything I don't mention will be down below in the description box, so no worries. I'm just gonna do a little contouring, slimming the face out just a little bit. But just continuing what we were talking about, I'm going to take it a step further and let you guys know this conversation I was having with one of my supporters. She actually messaged me on Snapchat. And if you guys follow me on Snapchat, you guys know like I actually interact with you. Anytime you message me, you have a question, anything, I always make sure to respond back. That's why I say all the time, like, I'm really active on Snapchat. That's probably like the best way to reach me is through my Snapchat. But she kind of like messaged me and she let me know she's been supporting me for a while, watching me, and she's seen the growth of my channel and of my skills. But she was telling me that she doesn't think that I'm going to make it as far in YouTube, the YouTube world, as I could, because I'm not as filtered as I should be, and I don't play the game. Like, I don't play by the rules. And she meant it in a sense of like, if you think about my anti-haul videos, if you think about like my review videos, I'm pretty honest. Like, I have no problem coming and letting you guys know how I feel about something. And sometimes the way I feel is not going to be positive. It's going to be negative sometimes. And I'm not going to apologize for it. But, you know, she was just telling me that companies are not going to want to work with me because they want me to come on here and sell a product. And if I can't do that, they're not going to put me on the list to go on any trips. Talking to you, Two-Face. And you know, I really appreciated her constructive criticism. Y'all hear me say all the time, I'm all about that constructive criticism life. And it didn't bother me just because I've thought that way for my own self. Like, I've been editing sometimes and kind of had to like ask myself, like, Tiff, do you really want to put this out? Because you know that once you get on here and talk about these KKW contour sticks, Kim ain't gonna invite you to no house parties. Even though I probably wasn't coming anyway, but a girl can dream. Like, I really myself have sat back and thought, like, what is going to be the outcome once I do this? How would this affect anything in the future? Any potential partnerships? Like, do I really want to do this? And my answer has always been yes. Yes, I want to put it out because it's the truth. Like, the truth is the truth, and sometimes the truth is gonna hurt the company. But I feel so much better with myself knowing that I'm always gonna be honest. And if my honesty means, hey, maybe I may not reach the number of subscribers that I dream, but whatever, because I have my own faith that says that I am going to get to that goal point where I've set for myself. Or hey, maybe I'm not going to get as many opportunities as I could have because companies see me as damaged goods. they see me as like a problem child who's not going to come on here and read about the script. But I feel like the people who I do it for, which is you guys, would appreciate me more. So to me, that's definitely worth a lot more than this free product that I could just buy for myself. You know what I mean? So now I'm going to go in with highlighter. I'm going to be taking this new Nars Banc Sable palette. I've showed you guys this in a haul. This is one of the limited edition Nars palettes. That's what it looks like on the inside. Now, I don't know if this one is cruelty free, because I don't know if you guys know or not, but Nars has now changed up their products to where they are no longer going to be cruelty free. This product I picked up and was released before that decision was made, as far as I know. But just a heads up, Nars is jumping on the non-cruelty free bandwagon, which really sucks because I love Nars products. I'm just going to be taking these two shades right here and mixing them together for my highlighter. But you know, just as far as that thing with my supporter, I told her ultimately, I pray in everything that I do. I pray no matter what decision that I'm trying to make. I always just pray that God direct me with the best decision for me. But the thing about me, I am not about to sell myself short for anything. And if that means that it's gonna take a couple more years to get where I need to be, like, I'm definitely fine with that. Like, listen, I was in the Army for 13 years, okay? Your girl's Army strong and proud. And I did not compromise myself with any decisions to get to the level that I made in the military. So you think I'm gonna take the beauty industry, the makeup world, any different? Like, I'm definitely not. So, you know, I get that I'm not everybody's cup of tea. I'm not everybody's flavor of the month. And I'm okay with that. The people who are for me are going to be for me. And if they're not, you're just not. And then for the lips, I'm just going to go a little glossy. I just picked up this MAC lip gloss. I have not purchased a MAC lip gloss since the MAC and Dej Loaf collection or collaboration release, and before that I can't tell you the last time I picked up a lip gloss. One, because y'all know I'm really not a gloss girl, but lately I have been. But I picked up the one in Spite. That's what it looks like, because I'm always hearing people talk about this and say that this is a really pretty, like, nudie type of color for women of color. So I swatched it on my hand at the MAC counter and it did look really pretty. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to pair that with this look, because again, the eyes are kind of like the standout. And then of course I have on the contour and the highlighter. I'm going for, of course, the golden goddessy type of look. So I don't really want to overdo it with the lips. So, and they've definitely changed up their lip gloss packaging since the last time I purchased the lip gloss. It looks bigger. Or I don't know, maybe it's just me. But I lined my lips with MAC's Cork Lip Liner. It's like my exact lip shade. Oh yeah, this is really pretty. It does have color to it. I don't know if you guys are seeing it on camera. It has, like, you know, like a nudie color to it, but I really like that. I think this would be a really good, like, everyday type of lip gloss shade as well. I'm digging it.
Out of all these blocks and corners.